All right, good evening, class, or good morning, class. This is week number two. That is right, week number two of your 9443 class, which is your academic libraries course. As always, I am your professor, Dr. Jace K. Austin. And in this check-in video for this week, what we will be doing is first I'll give a update on the state of the course, in which I will do every week. And then after that, we will look at interlibrary loan and Journal Finder and making sure that you know how to use those features at your library. So, having said that, first of all, let's get into the state of the course. The first thing that I need to say is the discussion board posts have been absolutely fantastic this first week. So I am not at all worried about discussion board participation and intellectual engagement with this class. It seems that you all have thoroughly outdone yourselves here at the start, and I am looking forward to seeing that just continue. So, yeah, again, with this first discussion board prompt, you all did a very good job. This video will actually be uploaded Sunday night. Usually my videos are going to be uploaded Tuesday night / early Wednesday morning, but I have a publication deadline this week that I am contending with, and so I need to get some other things done so that I can go ahead and finish my book chapter. So having said that, yes, we are uploading this a little early, but I'm assuming that most of you are not going to see it until Monday morning at the earliest. So I am speaking as though I am recording this on Monday morning, even though I am recording it on Sunday night. Now, so yeah, keep up the good work with the discussion board posts as you all are doing it. Do not worry about, I would say don't worry about offending the professor. Don't worry about offending your classmates to an extent. Now, there are certain things I want you all to, respect people's identity and their humanity. So, please do not take anything that is a personal shot at somebody. Please make sure that you are not just spouting opinions that are harmful or toxic when it comes to things like religion. If you don't agree with Christianity or you don't agree with atheism or whatever the case may be, please just, be respectful in what you say and don't just say stuff like atheists are stupid or Christians are dumb or anything like that or anything like that. If you, I have to make sure that all of my students are safe. So if you don't quote unquote agree with certain things, like if you think that transgenderism, for instance, is fake or something like that, that's something that I'm going to ask you to keep to yourself because that's an identity issue. And I just can't, as soon as you start attacking somebody's personhood, that is when you are putting everyone in the course kind of at risk, okay? So again, I'm going to ask you to just, be mindful of what you're putting into the ether, okay? And make sure that your opinions are not things that are going to be, causing actual harm to your, classmates, okay? But having said that, I also need you all to, again, this is something when I talk about, I got to get you all hired. That's my goal. Another thing that I have to take into account as I am holding that goal is that I cannot operate this space and have people just not knowing how to handle disagreement. Okay. And I've seen this on teaching evaluations, and I blame social media. I think social media with the block button and with the algorithms that suit a person's, a lot of times their political convictions and everything. With the algorithms and the blocking and in the muting and all of this stuff, I think people have conditioned themselves to thinking that they should have the right to be in a bubble of agreement at all times. And people make some pretty convincing arguments. I've seen a lot of people, get on social media and say, hey, I block and mute and all of that stuff and unfriend and all of that. I do that very readily and very quickly because I need to preserve a healthy mental state a healthy mental place for myself. in social media. And I understand that and I get that. And it's a very convincing argument. Every time I see somebody post that, it gets a lot of likes. It's something that plays in Peoria. Unfortunately, that's not how a workplace is going to necessarily operate. People in libraries talk a lot about toxic workplaces. I think a lot of that has merit because actually I do think that libraries provide a lot of safe haven to people who just would not be hired anywhere else. But having said that, the flip side of that coin is I don't know necessarily how much of it is toxic workplaces and how much of it is fragility in workers. And it's probably more of the former than the latter. It's probably more toxic workplace than it is fragility of workers. But I do think, especially, I'll just keep it real with y'all. I get on Twitter a lot. I follow a lot of librarians on Twitter and that sort of thing. And read a lot of library tweets and that sort of thing. And so one thing that I'm going to say is a lot of the things that people express that as grievances in this field, and a lot of the things that people get overwhelmed by in this field are just things that I hate to say it because I don't want to downplay anyone's trauma, but also I think that the definition of trauma has actual meaning as well, and I think there are things that get called trauma that are not trauma. All of that to say, and I'm in therapy myself. I don't take lightly that people need therapy. They need to talk to somebody. And therapists do a very good job in helping you figure out your life situations if you have a good match. But I will say, just to make sure it just wasn't me, I've read a bunch of tweets, library grievance tweets to my therapist just to see what she would say, how she would respond. And as I kept reading more and more, she started she's a very patient person, but she actually started losing patience with me reading out the tweets. And she was just like, well, a lot of this is just everyday stuff that you find in pretty much every work environment. And that's the thing. Nobody's actually going to want to hire you if they think that you're too fragile to handle their work environment, and nobody is going to pay you to work in a perfect work environment. And I hate to put it like that because I know this is off-putting, and I know so far the things that I've said have probably been very off-putting to a lot of you. But I got to prepare you all for this workplace. If I don't, for every one of you that doesn't get a professional librarian job, I feel that is, and not all of you will. I'll just, again, keep it real. Not all of you are going to get a professional librarian job. We hope that all of you will. Certainly most of you will, but not everybody is going to. And what I'm going to say in regards to that is I do feel that for everyone who doesn't get a professional librarian job who wanted one, I feel that is a failure of the program. So I'm going to put it in those terms, and I'm going to say that I have to let you all know the reality of what awaits you in the academic library. And if you are too fragile to handle it, then people are just not going to want to hire you. And I want to see you all get hired, and I want to see you all thrive in your workplaces. Okay. So with the discussion boards, yes, please do not be afraid to just say things that people are going to disagree with. Okay. And please do not be scared to say things that I'm going to disagree with. And we've got to learn how to disagree in a healthy manner in order to make workplaces go efficiently and smoothly. And so, yes, I do think that starts right here in the classroom. So that's what I've got to do. So with all of that said, again, your discussion posts show that you are in the spirit of operating this way, and so I just need you all to continue to operate that way. And if you do, then I believe that you all will flourish, and we all will flourish together. For your week 2 discussion board prompt, here it is. You are reading about the history of academic libraries this week, and you have a choice of 2 prompts. You can respond to one of the 2 prompts. If you want to respond to both of them, I guess that's fine, but I'm not making you do all that labor. So if you do the labor, you do it for yourself and on your own terms. Okay. All right. So that is that. But I hope that you will find this week's readings on the history of academic libraries pretty interesting. Now, let's go back to this. What I want to do now is give you all a reminder. All right, so a little reminder here. Let's make these small. So again, in week 12, and I mentioned this in the syllabus overview, but I'm going to mention it again. The Stoipel, Piatto, and Gutman reading is something that only allows for one simultaneous user at a time. So even though this is a week 12 reading, I would say that I would prefer that you all go ahead and before week 12, just go ahead and download and say the introduction, chapters 1 and 2, one case study, and one lesson plan. And that way, when week 12 comes about, we don't have this rush of everybody trying to download that content all at once, because again, there's only one simultaneous user. So if everybody waits until week 12, people are not going to be able to get stuff downloaded because everybody's going to be trying to download it all at one time. Okay. So we have that out of the way, and now let's make sure that you all know how to use these library features. And I know some of you are probably thinking, I already know how to use Interlibrary Loan. I already know how to use Journal Finder. And that may be the case, but please keep in mind that we can't assume what your classmates know. Some of your classmates are actually in their first semester here in the program. Some of them have not been shown this in other classes that they've taken this semester, so I am going to show that to them now. Now, having said that, if you want to go ahead and bow out now, if you're saying to yourself, well, I already know how to use Journal Finder from the library website, I already know how to use Interlibrary Loan, so there's nothing else that can help me here, that listening to this now won't help me. If that's how you feel, that is perfectly valid. A lot of you, again, already know how to use these features. And so with that said, if you already know how to use the feature, probably won't do you any good to watch the rest of this video, so you can go ahead and bow out now. For those of you who are still with me, let's go ahead and put some work in. All right. So if we go to the library homepage, which is library.missouri.edu, and actually, one thing that I'm going to do here is I am going to pull up Google Scholar to show you why you might be using these features at some point. And then I will show you how to actually use the features. So, all right. So let's say that we're on Google Scholar. And a lot of times when you're on Google Scholar, so I'm doing a search for ethnic binary right now. So let's say that a lot of times the stuff that is open access or things that are free over the web in some way or another, you will actually find links to those things here on the right. So for this second article, for instance, if I click that link to the right, I will be brought here, and yes, I have the full text right there. But let's say that I have something that I don't have that immediate full text to. So like this, decolonizing the civic ethnic binary. And I click on that because I want to read it. And it looks like, now of course, there are going to be times when you see this access through your institution button, and if you want to do that, then that works well as well. But you won't always have that option. That's why I am showing you this. So if you see this, you can go ahead and do your institutional login, but you won't always have that option. Don't purchase the content. You have already paid to use Interlibrary Loan with Mizzou. So don't purchase this content. Instead, do what I'm about to do. And what I am about to do is look at this. You only have the abstract right now and then the citations, but you don't actually have the full text. So what we can do is I'm going to keep this page open, and I am going to come back over here, and I am going to do looking for a specific journal. You can do specific article too, and in fact it works very similar, and I'll show you both. But the first I'm going to do is the specific journal. So what you've got here is a journal, again, called Current Sociology. And so I can put this in Current Sociology, and it pops up there, and then I can click search. Right. And as you can see, we do have full text access from 1999 to 2020. And we also have paper copies from 1952 to 2004. But let's go back here and see when this was published. It was published in 2008. No, it was actually, well, it was first published in 2018, but it's available in the 2019 issue. So we will need to use the option that encompasses the year of publication of 2019. So that would be the Sage Journals option. And again, we want to keep this open. And so we are looking at volume 67, issue number 3. So if we come back over here, 2019, volume 67, and again, it was issue number 3. You got that right there. So we go to volume 67, issue 3, we click that link, and it is actually the first one that's going to show up for us. So it won't always be the first one to show up, but in this case it is. So you can come here, and now you can do the PDF download. And whereas previously on this page, I just had the abstract and the references, now, as you can see, I have the full text. All right, so keep that in mind, keep that in your toolbox. If you go the find a specific article route, it's gonna work pretty much the same way. If we go over here, instead of specific journal, this time let's select specific article, and we're still doing that same journal title, which is Current Sociology. And we can do volume 6, 7, issue 3. Start page is going to be let's see over here, article information, 347, and the year is 2019. We don't have to do the ID number in this case. We'll just do this. Click search. And this never actually automatically displays for me, so I always open it in the next page, in the next window, and bing, it's right there. All right. So now the last thing that I am going to show you for this week is the interlibrary loan feature. Give me one moment. All right, actually, let's see if we can stick with that that journal that we're already working with, that Current Sociology. Okay, and let's go outside of the date range, because if you all remember, it was a date range for full text leading up to 1999. So let's do 1980 to 1989. Search. Okay, and so let's see what we got here. All right, cool. So first published in 1986, and we would not have that remote full text access to this one because, again, the full text access didn't start until 1999. So if we go back here, just to show you that again, specific journal, Current Sociology. (1999 to 2020), and so my 1986 article, yes, they have paper copies, but you all are nowhere near Columbia, most of you. For those of you who are near Columbia, yes, you can go visit and get your paper copy, but that's not going to be most of you. So for those of you who are nowhere near Columbia, here's what you're going to do. Rather than request a paper copy, you can come here and you can go to request an item, ILL at MU. Okay. And sorry, I hit the wrong button there. ILL@MU. And what we have, this is an article right here. And so you can do this for books, ebooks, whatever, theses and dissertations. But you select the proper proper request, which in our case is going to be an article. So you select articles. I'm going to move myself over here, and then you just fill in this information. So actually, I can go ahead and close that window. So the information that I need, first of all, the journal title is Current Sociology. Now, volume and issue is not required, but it does help, so I do include those. So volume 34, issue 3, you should see that right there. Volume 34, issue 3. Year was 1986. Inclusive pages is going to be, again, you might have to click article information to get that, 24 to 46. So let's do 24 to 46. Article author is not required, but again, it helps. So we've got Douglas Harper. Douglas Harper. The article title, which is Meaning and Work, the Study of Photo Elicitation. Okay, not wanted after this date. Usually for electronic articles, these requests are filled within 3 business days. However, I would say give them probably 2 weeks usually is the most that they're going to need. I'm going to change this to September the 10th. And what happens is if you set this too early, like if you were to set this, for instance, for tomorrow, it would cancel right away after tomorrow at 11:59 p.m. because you indicated that you didn't want it after that date. So you want to keep this open so that it'll always be available to you. Well, actually, that was a poor way of wording that. You want to make sure that you are putting a not wanted after this date in that is far enough away that it gives the interlibrary loan staff enough time to try to track down what you're looking for, okay? So don't just do within 3 days and try to give yourself, just try to give yourself enough time in advance when you're requesting articles to give the interlibrary loan workers enough time to track your articles down. So I've got the information that I want in here, and then I can just hit submit request. And what's going to happen there, I will see that within my outstanding requests, and I can pretty much just wait at this point. And what's going to happen is I am going to get an email notification once the article is available for download. They will send me a message with a link to download the article, and then once you download it, it's yours. Okay. There are some things like books, including ebooks, that will only have limited borrowing. But with articles, once you have downloaded them, they are yours as long as you keep them saved somewhere, okay? And so that's how that works. And again, I'll get that link probably within 3 days or 3 business days at least. And that's how I will have that article. So make sure you have these interlibrary loan and journal finder strategies in your research tool set, especially for when you are doing, if you're trying to find supplementary readings for your assignments or even for your discussion posts. This is how you are going to find those things, okay? It is very rare that I keep a video under 25 minutes, and it looks like I'm going to have a chance to do that right now. So I am going to go ahead and very abruptly stop this now that I have shown you all how to use interlibrary loan and how to use the journal finder feature. So having said that, I am Dr. Jace, and watch this space because there's going to be more coming. But you all are off to an excellent start, and I have a feeling that this is going to be a wonderful class, not just for me, but for all of you as well, or at least most of you. I'm very happy to have you all here. Thank you for being here. Take care, stay safe, stay cool. Bye-bye.